Hello my fellow monks! If you thought I forgot about my Mistweaver brethren, then you might be right. I don't know why I skipped Mistweaver. Probably because it's one of the specs that's receiving the fewest changes in 8.1. To be fair, Mistweaver was one of the few specs in BFA that didn't have a lot of problems or fixes required. I also made a guide for Mistweaver, and looking at the changes, aside from the azerite traits, it doesn't seem like 8.1 will make a difference for the healing monk spec in terms of build. Today's video will be shorter, but the info is still good and I will be covering all of the azerite changes and updates for all monk specs, so stay tuned if you want to know the deets. Before we go into the meaty bits, Enveloping Mist has been nerfed a bit. From 247% healing from spell power, it will be down to 216%. Aside from this, no other spell seems to have been changed in 8.1. Some of the PvP talents are getting a look at. Most noticeably, Chrysalis will reduce the cooldown of Life Cocoon by 45 seconds, up from 30 seconds, which will help Mistweavers in the mana battle. Grapple Weapon has also had its cooldown reduced as well. In 8.1 it will be 45 seconds down from 1 minute, and lastly, Yulon's gift will be removed entirely. Now let's quickly hit it off with what we are saying goodbye to. As with all classes so far, some of our traits will be going away in 8.1 and will be replaced with newer, better traits, allegedly. Also, monks seem to have more new traits than a lot of other classes, so yay! Invigorating Brew is the trait for Mistweaver we are saying goodbye to. Thunder Focus Tea was empowering Vivify with this trait. In its place we will have Secret Infusion, which is similar to one of the Shaman traits we are seeing. Secret Infusion will buff Thunder Focus Tea, which in turn will buff your next spell additionally to its base effect. Your next spell will give you a stat boost depending on the spell you cast. Now, the spells that you use Thunder Focus Tea for are usually pretty set in stone, so I'm not sure how much this will change your priority. Renewing Mist is the one you cast by default, and it gives you haste if you do so with the new trait, which more often than not is what you want anyway. It's an interesting concept, but if the buff is not significant enough to warrant an actual decision from Renewing Mist, then it will pretty much just make your own choice stronger. Iron Fist from Windwalker will be replaced with Fury of Zhuen. Fury of Zhuen will make your combo strikes grant you the Fury of Zhuen buff, which stacks up to 33 times. Each stack gives your next Fists of Fury a 2% chance to grant haste and invoke the actual Zhuen. It visually affects your gameplay and most likely will bump Fists of Fury up on the priority list. We could use more traits like this that have an obvious impact on gameplay. Meridian Strikes will also be replaced with Dance of Chi-Ji. The new trait activates after spending enough Chi to proc its effect that makes your next Spinning Crane kick free and also deal more damage. The Brewmaster trait replaced in 8.1 will be New Zaw's Blessing, and it will be replaced with straight No Chaser. New Zaw's Blessing felt very out of place, to be honest, and it probably was never picked since most other traits were outperforming it. Not to mention it was a boring trait. The new one seems a bit more interesting. Iron Skin Brew will increase armor once used, and it will have a 10% chance to not consume a charge. This essentially could leave room for more purifying brews to be used, and from what I gather, it's aimed at helping brewmasters deal with heavier content where brew usage will be intense. Although this is a point that they already excel at, in my opinion. The last trait we are losing is Swift Roundhouse, and it will be replaced by Glory of the Dawn. This new trait will buff Rising Sun Kick to have a chance at a second hit for less damage, of course, and also restore 1 Chi. Among all of these traits we also have a brand new one which looks a bit fun, but its viability, I can only see it picked in PvP, and even for PvP I don't really know if it will be viable. I am talking of course about Exit Strategy. Using Roll will give you Avoidance, and taking direct damage will reduce its cooldown by 5 seconds. It has the potential of being up pretty much 100% of the time, but I don't really know of any encounter where you would use Roll that much while also taking constant damage to reduce its cooldown. If it's just some cooldown reduction to increase overall mobility, then yeah, the trait is good. But if it's on a main ring, replacing a main trait, then I don't see it being used. We also had a trait buffed, Burst of Life, that currently just buffs Life Cocoon to release a mist of healing goodness. Now in 8.1, it will also lower its cooldown by 20 freaking seconds. Okay, is it just me, or is this really good? I'm not sure how this stacks with Chrysalis in PvP, because if it does, it's just ridiculous. The majority of the changes seem to have addressed Windwalkers, with Brewmasters and Mistweavers being specs that have performed pretty good so far, not being in need of too many changes. To answer the question, should you play Mistweaver in 8.1? Well, the numbers are there to make it one of the strongest healers in the game. The traits have at the very least been improved. Is the class 100% finished? No class will ever be 100% finished, but it's good. Yeah, go play it. You won't have troubles finding groups. The toolkit is amazing in raids and Mythic Plus and PvP as well. Once again, I go into more details about Mistweavers in my guide, already up on our channel, so head on there and check it out. You can also hit the comments section. A lot of people are coming with good tips and advices, and you never know where you might get an answer. Also, since I've been getting requests with classes to do next, I made a small poll for a few of them that are within my reach at the moment. Check it out real quick and vote for what you want to see. Thanks for sticking around, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day ahead. And until next time, peace!